Patreon Q&A number 79. I want to thank all 132 of my grossly overpowered patrons. Guys, I love you so much, and I appreciate all of your support, especially in this complicated time in our lives. To everyone else listening, there's going to be spoilers in these questions and answers, so tread carefully. Acoustic asks, hey man, if Genos were to go all out in his Daedric form for the 10 seconds that it is said to run for, do you think he could be a city buster? Given the feats we have seen from him in the past, I think the 10 seconds might be one of the best feats shown in the series so far. Cheers. So, it ultimately comes down to if his 10-second form is going to be like a super mega blast, or it's going to like buff him overall, like make him like, I don't know, like released Boros in maneuverability and strength and all of that stuff. I think that would be cool because, you know, we've typically just seen Genos use like ultra mega blasts, you know, Kamehameha-esque stuff before, you know, against the Meteor and against Elder Centipede and stuff like that. So it would be cool if we saw something different, but it probably will be a blast. And in theory, it could wipe away a city or something like that, you know, because we've seen that his power output is pretty insane just before becoming Daedric Genos. And given that Dr. Kusenu said that there's no balancing factor to this form, meaning that it's all offense, all 100% power, in theory, it could be like an Orochi-esque blast, which could wipe away a city. I mean, we saw Boros released form. His chest released internal energy blast, like wiped away, you know, like a good portion of the top of his ship, which was comparable to like 1/6 of a One Punch Man city or something like that. So, I mean, you know, given the incineration cannon that he did to Elder Centipede, and if we're bumping that up from like a high demon to like a low dragon level or something like that, I think in theory, it could be a quote-unquote city buster. Bryan asks, hey, Ziggy Smalls, hope you're enjoying your social distancing. My school just got another week of spring break and everywhere else is closed. I've never been more bored. First question I want to ask you is, what do you think is the strongest monster the combined forces of Death Gatling Squad and the Surface support team could take down? So this is an interesting concept. I'd actually like to see this play out. I like when the weaker individuals get together and throw down, you know, weaker compared to the S-Class and Dragons, stuff like that. I think that if they work together, they probably could take down somebody like Rhino Wrestler at the most, you know, like low, mid-demon, somewhere around there. Rhino Wrestler obviously stomped the Surface support team when they were all working together against him, but I think if you throw in Death Gatling Squad, they all, you know, working together, high diff, could probably take down him. And if not him, then definitely somebody like Free Hugger. I think in the end, they could, you know, take down a demon for sure. Second question, if you could see any media property adapted into an anime, what would you pick? It would be so dope to see a Game of Thrones anime. Yeah, it would be cool to see Game of Thrones, but you know what would be even cooler? If we got to see The Boys into like an anime or something. The Boys from Amazon Prime, that's like my new favorite show. I can't wait for season 2. You know, and if not The Boys, then we could go more of a cliche round. Just say the MCU in general. That would be an incredible anime in my opinion, but more so I want to see The Boys because, you know, the anime could take some liberties and expand some more characters that haven't been expanded in The Boys live action series. I haven't followed the comics, but yeah, The Boys is where I'm at right now mentally. Cool Mitch 987 asks, hey, Shonen is obviously be a lot easier once we have more information, but if you had to guess, do you think Blast is going to die before the end of One Punch Man? Have a good week and stay healthy. Hey, you too, Cool Mitch. I think it's a possibility that Blast could die, actually. I mean, if anyone's going to kick the bucket from the main cast, especially like the S-Class heroes, I think Blast would be a good candidate, considering that we know that he's kind of like in the twilight of his career. I'm sure he's at the peak of his power, because, you know, anime primes are different than our own. And, you know, if he is going to have a good fight against Saitama, he has to be absurdly powerful. But, you know, given that, I think after he has, like, his main prominence in the series, you know, whenever that happens, which I think is going to be sooner than later, he'll probably show up and sacrifice himself to stop someone, maybe like a god, you know, like a god-esque being, or maybe God himself, maybe blast jobs to God, so that we really know how strong God is, possibly, and, like, Blast goes down as like a hero sacrificing himself or something. I could see that totally happening. I mean, why not? It's already been establishing that, you know, he was a hero before being a hero was a thing, and that he doesn't like being famous. So, I mean, he's going to come out to save humanity when it's definitely needed. So I feel like somebody like that would definitely put their life on the line. Free-Tshirts asks, hey, Shonen, who do you believe will win in a fight between Spring Mustachio and Polnareff's Silver Chariot from JoJo? So I'm thinking that Polnareff using, you know, Silver Chariot, of course, would probably take this one. Silver Chariot's speed seems to be definitely at a demon level, I suppose. And we saw that Spring Mustachio was barely able to stay competitive against like Tiger level in Combo Infinity. But it would be interesting to see because they would both have, you know, the rapiers, the fencing exchange. It would be pretty cool, but I think Silver Chariot's just too fast for Spring Mustachio in this matchup. Geruda asks, hey Shonen, do you think Psychochi, or whatever their fusion is called, would be able to crush the likes of Carnage, Kabuto, and Boros? If so, how difficult do you think it would be given the current info that we have? Thanks. So I think that they could probably take Carnage, Kabuto. That doesn't seem too far out of the realm of possibility, considering, you know, what they were able to do against Tatsumaki, but Boros is a different story. Like what you say, the info that we currently have, I don't think we have enough to support the claim that they could defeat Boros. Boros, and we're just talking about released Boros here, I think is a little too much for what we've seen so far, because I also think that released Boros could probably defeat Tatsumaki. Given what we've seen of her, I'm sure the manga will make her even stronger in the future events that they're going to cover, but man, it's way too soon, or I don't think there's just enough evidence to say that Psychochi could defeat Boros. That's like an absurd level of power, even compared to Carnage Kabuto, who I think they wouldn't have an easy time against, but could still probably get the job done. Go Pikaahh asks, hey Shonen, what threat level would Mirio have if he had inherited One for All and never lost Permeation? So he would easily be a dragon. I mean, not even taking into consideration permeation, let's just take a look at him having One for All. He would be so powerful, so fast, so strong, so durable. And also, I'm sure he would be able to tap into the Vestige, which is always a nice little broken butt pull ability. But then if we have his permeation mastery into there, he's nearly unbeatable. I mean, like I say, nearly. I mean, he's not going to have like God level, you know, strength, durability, and speed, and all of that stuff, physicality. But I mean, he's easily going to be dragon with One for All, and then the permeation added to that. I mean, he might be a high dragon in theory, and the only people that would really be able to defeat him is like, you know, Tatsumaki using her Esper powers, Flashy Flash if he's fast enough to be able to counter that, and then Darkshine just tanking his shots possibly. But aside from that, man, he's really powerful at this point. Joseph K asks, hello, Shonen, being stuck inside catching up some series made me think that one series in particular that I didn't plan on rewatching anytime soon, Game of Thrones. As part of, who do you think will come out on top between Daedric, Genos, and three fully sized dragons from Game of Thrones? They're certainly each disaster level dragon, and not only because they're dragons, but I bet you could kill thousands of innocents if you wanted to. I don't know why anybody would ever do that. So I don't think they're dragons. I mean, they're definitely dragons, but I don't think they're dragons. Mainly because like the ability to kill thousands doesn't make you a dragon. It's more so like, you know, your difficulty of extermination, your abilities, and whatever other metrics they use. I can't remember off the top of my head, but you know what I'm talking about. I've talked about it many times in the videos. I think they're, you know, fair to say they're demons. Like, there's no way that the Night King could have thrown a javelin at a dragon level threat and it would have hurt them so bad, especially with their speed, durability, and all of that stuff. They're just not dragons to me. Therefore, I do think Daedric Genos could take down them. I mean, it would be somewhat difficult for him, but he's just way too fast and has way more firepower than they do. I think he can get the job done there. P.S. Are you watching any shows, anime, you've missed out on this time of social distancing? Stay safe, man. Have a good week. Hey, you too, Joseph K. No, I really haven't. I've just been studying One Piece. I've been, you know, lifting heavy in the One Piece gym, progressive overload. It's all One Piece because I'm, you know, venturing into that very soon. And I'm going to be making full-time content on that. And I've just been training. JustBlazeYT asks, up, Shonen. My question is, who would win in a battle, Tatsumaki or a team of Goketsu, Elder Centipede, Overgrown Rover, and Evil Natural Water? Man, it's hard to say because we've kind of seen something like this happen. Tatsumaki, when she initially fought the executives, you know, like Homeless Emperor, Evil Natural Water, Black Ass, she was doing extremely well. Like, it wasn't really even phasing her. So if we throw Goketsu and Elder Centipede and Rover into there, it would be somewhat of a similar endeavor. So I think Tatsumaki at full strength probably would be able to defeat them. I do think that she could probably tussle with Elder Centipede, similar to how she tussled with Thousand Eyes Octopus. It would just be a much more difficult effort. And even weakened, she was like blowing away Evil Natural Water. And Goketsu, you know, he's obviously a big obstacle here, but I don't think he's big enough to overtake Tatsumaki. Second question, Tatsumaki versus Orochi, the one that fought Saitama. So this is more of a difficult question to answer, but given off the information that we got from Murata and One on that live stream, I'm thinking that Tatsumaki could defeat him. I mean, it would be high diff for her, but I think she could get the job done. Legandaryus asks, hey, Shonen, what threat level would you give the giant Pac-Man from Pixels along with the other creatures from the movie? So I'm thinking that the giant Pac-Man, it seemed like it was like a high tiger, maybe a low demon. I mean, yeah, it could like chomp up some cars and stuff like that, and it could move kind of fast, I guess, as fast as like a moving car. But the fact that it gets taken out by like getting hit by a car is not that impressive. Maybe their cars have something special in them. I've never seen the movie, so I don't know if there's any significance to the cars that they're using. But I don't know. It doesn't really seem like something that would be too difficult for like a group of A-class heroes to take out or something like that. I mean, the regeneration is pretty significant, but I mean, it doesn't really strike me as something that's too outrageously powerful. Lil Dolphin asks, hey Z, my first question is, what do you think is Dr. Genos going to show Zombie Man in his basement? So this is one of the big mysteries of One Punch Man right now, and I honestly don't have a great answer. I can't really like think like, you know, like so confidently on what it would be. I mean, given Dr. Genos' history, we can assume that it's probably going to be something like an experiment or something, possibly like a organic one, hopefully. But given that they were talking about the limiter before he says, like, you know, let me show you what's in my basement, maybe it has something to do with the limiter. Maybe he's trying to create something that can remove its limiter, or maybe he's working on removing the limiter of an existing person or something like that. That's all I can really think about right now. My second question is, if a Mind Mask moved into the S-Class and the S-Class had to demote one hero to make room for him, what hero will get demoted? Oh, I think you probably know. It's going to be Tank Top Master, unfortunately. Right now, he's lacking feats and he's lacking strength. And I think the S-Class would the Hero Association would probably take note of that. And if they had to demote someone, which I don't think would really happen because, you know, you could just keep adding S-Class heroes like Genos the way that he added. But in this situation, they would probably let him Tank Top Master go for a Mai to join. MemePriest asks, hey, Shonen, I hope things are going great. And here are my questions for this week. If Jotaro and King were to play poker, who do you think could outbluff the other? So this is a fun question. And, you know, one of my favorite sequences in anime, period, is Jotaro versus Darby. Incredible. But given even that, I don't think Jotaro is enough for King. I mean, King playing poker is essentially, like, unbeatable, right? Because, I mean, you know, given if you do believe in the meta luck, I don't really care whether you guys listening do or not, Jotaro would definitely be susceptible to King's charisma. Therefore, there's no way he'd be able to outbluff King. He would fall victim to King's bluff and essentially lose, especially like the meta luck giving King the best hand every time. I mean, he'd have a royal flush, like, I don't know, every single game, maybe. King is just, there's no way you could beat him in poker, even with Star Platinum. Do you think Blast could have the same condition as King, as someone who has meta luck, but Blast can control it using his psychic powers? No, I don't think Blast has meta luck. I don't think any other character is going to have some kind of crazy ability that King has. I think Blast is just a straight up Esper with super physical abilities and stuff like that added on. I don't think that he has any kind of luck or anything like that. Nico L asks, hey, Shona, do you remember back in the Camino incident when we found out that Ragdoll had her quirk stolen? Do you think that maybe instead of being the traitor, they used her quirk, her search quirk? And the only reason they knew where all the students were was because they had the information broker. I just thought about this theory, and I figured I'd run it by you. I'm writing this before the chapter comes out this week, so maybe something will happen that will reveal this was wrong, but who knows? Anyway, I've been loving the streams lately. Stay healthy and keep up the good work, man. Hey, thank you, Nico. Thank you for the consistent support, and thank you for checking out the streams. So I think that the reveal of the traitor from Present Mike came before Ragdoll's quirk was stolen, right? Wait, I think it happened after Bakugo was captured, possibly. I could be wrong. But it doesn't really line up with the reveal of the traitor. Like, they had information way before, or the implication of a traitor happened way before Ragdoll's quirk was taken, because, like, the traitor was pretty much shown to be a thing when the League of Villains infiltrated USJ. And obviously Ragdoll still had her quirk at that point. I think Ragdoll's quirk getting taken was just to show All For One's abilities, and it was also gave him the ability to realize where or to pinpoint where the League of Villains were inside of that bar so that he could transport them to himself. So that's basically why that happened. Pontiff S asks, hey Shonen, hope you're still chilling, my friend. Yeah, I'm trying. And I hope the god level monster stays away from you. Hey, I mean, so far it has. I've been lucky, and I hope it's staying away from everyone else as well. Just keep washing your hands, guys. I want to know your opinion on what disaster level Dante is from the series Devil May Cry. To my knowledge, I don't think you've covered him fully yet. I'm also not sure if you know anything about him, but if you don't, I'm so sorry. He's kind of got it all. Anyways, thanks a lot for what you do. Stay frosty out there. Hey, you too, Pontiff. So, I have been asked about Dante before on the Q&A, and I didn't know anything about him beforehand. I mean, I did play Devil May Cry 2 back in the day, but I barely remember anything from that. But I looked up Dante, and apparently he is quote-unquote multiversal level. I don't know. He has some insane feats throughout the games, and he's defeated like universal level beings and all of that stuff, at least from what I've been able to gather. And if you go into the Devil May Cry community, they rate him extremely high, like just as much as like any Cosmic Marvel hero or something like that. So he's absurd. So from what I've gathered, he's like disaster level god minimum, maybe even going into above god level. Susan A asks, hey Shonen, what's up? Deep Sea King hydrated, not hydrated versus Beast King. What do you think will happen? So I think non-hydrated Deep Sea King would probably lose to Beast King, because Beast King's just a beast. He's the king of them. But he just seems really fast and just as strong as him, and I think he would probably cut up dehydrated Deep Sea King. But hydrated Deep Sea King, I think, would be way more competitive. He probably gets the edge on him in speed at that point, and it's hard to say. But I would say maybe hydrated Deep Sea King can defeat Beast King. So that's pretty much it for the video today, guys. Once again, I want to thank all 131 of my incredibly powered, ultra attractive patrons. Guys, thank you so much for continuing to support me through these difficult times in our lives, and I hope everyone stays safe out there. Keep washing your hands, don't touch your face. And if you would like to be in next week's Q&A, simply check out the $5 tier. That will give you access to this video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe as well. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.